Hi friends, Marlene here from Uniquely Ella. If you're new to my channel, welcome. All my new subbies, thank you for being here. Thank you for all the likes and your sweet comments. And I just want to say a really special thank you to my repeat customers. You guys are amazing. You guys keep me motivated. It's incredible. Thank you so much for liking my work and supporting my little Etsy shop. I just can't thank you enough. I mean, I'm more grateful than you'll know. So I'm very appreciative of that. I want to show you today. This is Olivia. Meet Olivia. She's beautiful. I'm like in love with her. This project started when Lidia from Raindrop Lila on Instagram. I'm going to link her store underneath in her Instagram. This kit is from her store. She came out with like this new kit that's just, all her kits are beautiful, but this kit is beautiful. It's like tones of peachy, like peachy pink, and I love those tones. So the minute I saw this kit, I'm like, oh God, I have to create something with it. So this is how Olivia was born. So let me show you, let me give you a quick little flip through of her. She is a one signature journal. She's got that exposed binding, but you can't really see it because I kind of covered it up. But she's really my chunkiest one signature journal that I've ever done. She's like borderline where I really can't fit like another paper in her spine. It would have been like too much. And I loved it. It's got, the paper's got shades of this sagey green, so I played up on that. And this beautiful trim here, this is from Boho Daydreams from Sheila's store and a Facebook group. I love using little touches of boho here and there, but just like not too much, especially with this journal. I wanted to keep it a little bit soft, and I wanted to use a little bit, give it like a little boho vibe, but not too much. And then you know that I like my journals to be, I like to leave some areas for you to journal on, but I like to really embellish and work with my journal inside. I like using a lot of salvage pieces of laces and trims. I like to really build it up. I don't want it to look like me personally, like I took the, you know, the lace came off a bolt in the store and it's just plop on there. I don't like, for me, I don't like that. I like the hunt of rescuing maybe from a blouse or rescuing from something, and I don't want it to look like it's store-bought, like the lace is just there, store-bought. I want it to look, I don't know, just kind of like, I can't explain it. But anyway, I always like to load them up, and this one is absolutely no exception. And when you see her like this, there's a couple of little things that give you a hint of all the little things that are peeking through. First of all, this is not peeking through. This is right in the front. I have a ball pin right here. And I added a little cluster of like beads. I got this one. I think this is a glass bead. I got this that I don't have a whole lot left. This came off some kind of necklace. And I love this piece because it's kind of like a neutral. Whatever you put next to it, it absorbs that color a little bit, but it's really white or clear, but it'll take in whatever you put next to it. I've used it with pink and it'll turn like a light shade of pink. It's really pretty. And they had two of these necklaces when I bought it, and I only picked up one because it had so many of these that I'm like, I'm never going to use all that, and I'm almost used it all. Then I used this longer little bead. This came off a bracelet. I love that in the green. And then I have another acrylic bead here that's solid. So I got glass and solid. And then I just made this little cluster and I hung it from here. And then in the bottom, if you can see down here, there's a little ticket and a little something peeking down here. I'll show you that in a little bit. And then for the center, this one I tied in the center inside. I have all these little legs, these little feet of silk sari dangling. And on some of them I wanted to add like a little something, and I did. So let's get this baby started. I don't know which one I'm going to open. And then for the tide, for the closure, I just used, this is from an old, and I love this. This is from an old, I think it was like a long scarf or something that I've had for a while. I don't have a whole lot left. And the reason I like this piece is because when you cut into it, it frays beautifully. Like, oh, you get all these little strings all over the place, and I love that. So I didn't have a long piece left. I usually wrap it around twice. I didn't have a long piece left, but I had two little pieces, two smaller pieces. So what I did is that I put them together like that. Instead of one long piece wrapped around a couple of times, which is what I usually like to do, I have two pieces. Let's see. I'm like a little bit stuck. It's just two pieces that I wrap together like that. And that became my closure. So as you can see, she is like chunky, chunky, chunky. So let me show you how she started. She started from this material down here, back here. It's like an embossed, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like an embossed. This is something I picked up. This and this I picked up in an estate sale not too long ago, and usually that's what inspires me. Sometimes I'll pick up a piece of fabric or a piece of clothing and I'm like, oh my God, I know what I'm going to do with that. So this piece right here, I think this was like the bottom of either a skirt or a blouse or something. This bottom piece right here came off a garment, and this came off another garment. It was like a long gown. It wasn't bridal, but kind of looking. And this fabric is like totally embossed and it's absolutely gorgeous. So that's kind of what started it. And you know me, I call it veil. I always like to veil my journals. So the first veil I did was this piece right here. This is all one continuous piece, and then it comes around the back, except here is not a pocket. It comes right around the back like that. And then once that was there, I had this came off some kind of a sari outfit or something, but I purchased that outfit. And it starts like, the garment starts with like a lot of a lot of glitter, 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 and then it gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and then the dots are just real weak like that. So what I did is that on this side, I put the right side of, this is the wrong side of the fabric, because I thought that was going to be like a little too shiny, so I turned it around. So this pocket, once I made the pocket with a piece of fabric, I still veiled it with this fabric, like the scattered little pieces down over it, so the flower wouldn't be as bright, because I really want it to match the paper line. And then I veiled the inside, so it, it stops right here, because I didn't want to, you can still see the embossing a little bit, but I wanted more gold, because I really wanted to use this piece right here, and I wanted somehow tie in some of the gold somehow, and I think that piece worked well. And then underneath this, you can't see it, there's a little piece right here. It's almost like a hinge. I always put it to give me more stability on the binding. I have a piece of that hinge right underneath this veil, and I have it here, I have it on top. You see it right here. So that was the front. Then I had this other piece of fabric that I found a while back, and I have been dying to use that fabric. And this paper collection gave me that because it had some green, so it worked out like that sage green. It worked out beautifully. So what I did down here, I wanted to make a focal point here and a focal point here to kind of balance the power of this color here. And I did that by building like this little, I call it like a little skirt, like a tiny little skirt here. And then here I did a little ruffle with it. I backed it up with a little bit more of this material, and then I put the two little pieces of the sari, the boho trim from Boho Daydreams. So it's just enough. And sometimes, with the boho, I love it, so I can go crazy with it. But sometimes you don't need a whole lot, just like a little bit here and there, kind of. I think you can take your project to the next level. So for the presentation, I always like to do a little something in the front. She is beautiful, just like this on a coffee table, or even like, I don't know, like a pink Christmas. I don't know, she's just beautiful. And for inside the little pocket, then what I did here to trim the pocket, I cut a strip of this fabric, just a little strip, and that went on there because there's a seam here. You see the seam? I didn't want the seam to show somehow, so that kind of helped me a little bit. And then for here, I used this printable that I think, I love that swag. I love that, so pretty. And then I went and embossed crazy, and I was embossing everything that I could find. So I put a little bit of my my embossing that I just did up here, like almost like a little tab. So this is just a little journaling card. And then this little envelope is from the collection. So I did more stenciling here. And I think this is from Saturday Stampers. I'm not sure. I'll link everybody underneath. And this came off a little girl's dress. And I like that envelope. And here I just have like a little stamp that I think I rescued from someplace. And inside the envelope there's just some goodies, like this little card that I embossed that you can journal in the back or cut it in pieces and use it somewhere all over your journal. I have this is a little fragile but not too much. It's kind of large. Came off a book. It's not too much. And then I have this cute little printout, and then this cute, there's going to be, you're going to see a lot of roses. That's also another reason why this kit kind of tugged at my heart. I love roses. And then this is from the kit, and I backed it up with some book pages. So all that goes in the front. So let's walk you through. I'm going to kind of walk you through a little bit, not fast, but a little bit, because there's a lot. I like when my tool kind of hangs over like that. I like that. So when you open it up here in the front, I did a little collage here, and then I just, this is from another, I'll show you, this is from the same outfit that I used in the center pages. But I just veiled like a little lace here, and then this little collage, I just left it like that. There's so much going on, and I just love that. I didn't want to add like a pocket and cover it up or anything. I just left it like that. And I love how all this goodness just kind of peeks through. So here we just have just a little doily. I use some printables also from Ruby and Pearl. I'm going to link everybody underneath. And I'm kind of like loving lately, like I'm on a thing with these little half pages, little things. I love them. I love the little ones, and I also like these longer ones. So I added that there. And then here, I think this is like some kind of a parchment, some other kind of paper that I had. So I did a little collage. This is, I don't want to say it's tattering, but it's maybe a very thin crocheting right here. And then this is some stenciling that I did, a little collage. And I love this whole collection. It's beautiful. But for some reason, the simplicity in this pink lace page, I'm like in love with. This can go with so many things. I love it. And it's part of the kit. So, you know, of course, I de-stressed the edges a little bit. This journal took me a long time, and I used a lot of materials. You know, my journals depend a little bit on the material that I use, and I use a lot all the time, but this one I did even more. And then the amount of time, how big they are. That's really basically it. This is from the collection. This is from a vintage book that I have. I made like a tiny little pocket here. This I've had for a while. I love this material. It's like a glossy material, but it's pink and it's all frayed. Let me show you up close. I think I've showed you this before. I love this. It's all tattered. I love it. And then here I have a little guest check that I have stenciled on, and this little printable that goes right in here. This is one of those little pages. This is a sari. I'm going to list that underneath. Just a little collage. I did a lot of sewing. This one took me a long time. The pages that are more vintage, I have reinforced in the back. This is the same fabric as this fabric. I just made a little ruffle and put it up there. And then here we have, this is from a vintage book that I have on stained glassing that I love. Once in a while I'll take it out. I love that page like that little page. And then here I have like a doily that I just added a little collage from the paper collection. This is beautiful. I love that page. And then this is a trim that came off some kind of garment I rescued or something. And then back here I did a little corner tuck with some embossing that I was experimenting with. And then I tucked just a few little things. I tucked something from a vintage book here, and then I have like some old recipes. These are like a little bit fragile, not too much, but a little bit fragile, and that goes in there. This is from 1977. And then a little journaling card, and of course you got room, you can put more in there. This is another recipe. This is from a book. This book is not vintage, but it's very colorful. It's beautiful. It's a Christian book, and I love it. But it had some flowers that I thought went well with this, so I liked it. That's the name of the book. I think that's the cover. I wanted to use this material so bad because it had more of the peachy that I liked. So I created a ruffle. I just no idea where I was going to put it, and it worked out well. It worked up in here. So you can tuck a little something there underneath if you like. And then here's just a little collage with a little flip. You can hide something in here, journal a little something and hide it. And I got two little pieces of laces going on. Again, there's that material again. Here I created a side little tuck out of vintage music sheet paper. And I have that little printable from that pretty book. Look how pretty. I thought these little flowers were sweet, and they went really well with this paper collection. This is, I believe, I have to check on this. If it's not, it may be Sam Poole Design, or who also has like gorgeous printables also, or Ruby and Pearl, I'm not sure. But I'll find out and I'll put it underneath. More from that book. This is a placemat that I've had. I have a few left. I need to tea-dye more. A placemat that I picked up somewhere, like a whole bunch of them, and I tea-dyed them. The edges are scalloped, and it's so pretty. I really like it. Here I have a little clip that my attempt at rusting. If anybody has any ideas, you know, I did it with the peroxide and vinegar and salt, but it didn't rust as much as I thought. And I left it for 3 days and I stirred it up. So if you have any tips on that, I would appreciate it. But then here in this little clip, I have this little journaling, little vintage looking ledger thing that I did a little stenciling on. And then I have an index card that I've done some tea dye that you can play with, or you can use it just to write on. I have another little journaling little tucky thing, and then I have, it's all being held together with this. And this is a, this is from, I think this is, I got this a very long time ago. I think I got this in Germany. And this is those little cards that, like if you go to a flower shop, they have them there and you pick them up so you can write a note on them for somebody. And it had like the little card, but I just used the front of it. I've had it forever. And that goes on here. What do we have here? More vintage music sheet. I love this material. It's kind of like velvet. It is velvet. It's beautiful. It's the edges of this. What else do we have? Another page here. I love that. That's Ruby and Pearl. I love maps. But I don't like them too loud. I like them like that. And then here, just a plain glassine bag. And all I did was add a little doily, a little butterfly. And this little ruffle is like remnants of a bigger ruffle. And it looks kind of real shabby and stuff. And I love it. This little envelope is from the collection. I love that. You know that, I told you that already. And then inside there's some few little things that you can use, like some vintage, a smaller music sheet, and a journal. Look how pretty that card is. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I think anything with a rose is like, oh. I got that. This is from another rescue fabric, and I love it, and I like it against that lace right there. So I made it like its own little page. This is from that book. I think this is Ruby and Pearl, but I'm not sure. I love that lace there. This is from the collection. I think this was a tag, and I kind of made it into like my own little thing. Here I just reinforced the page a little bit. I wanted some writing like that to kind of go with the lines of the ledger paper. And I love it. I need to tea dye more of my green ledger paper. I'm almost out. I did the same thing here to reinforce the pages also, and just for a pop of color. Like I said, this is rescued from some kind of garment, and I love it. And then here you can journal on here and all along. This is also rescued from another garment, and I still have a little bit of this left. More journaling space. Love that. This is from another book, another vintage book. I did some sewing here, some darker tea dyeing. And then here I made a big gigantic ruffle. This is from another fabric right here. I love using ruffles, guys. They don't have to be perfect. They can just be like all mishmashed. I think they just elevate your project. I love using ruffles. And then here I have, this is from, I want to say this is like from a Prima paper, like an old Prima paper, I think. And you can journal here. This little one, I did a little collage. And then here on this one, I added a paper clip again that I tried to rust. Big fail. Didn't rust that much. I mean, it looks a little different, but it really didn't rust that much. And just added, I had this for a while. Just added a little lace in there. And then here I have another one of these cards with some of my embossing. And then this is a little, I think this is like a Greek little cards that I tea dyed. And I put a little lace in the back and then use this butterfly. I think this butterfly is from Ruby and Pearl. I just use like stuff that matches from different people, whatever I like, you know. And then on this side, I just have two little things. I have this little, that's got lines. You can journal on here. And then this was kind of clipped like that with this red. I'm liking red, guys, now. I love that ticket. And then another page. And then on this page, what I did, I have just a gold paper clip. And I did a little, like a little mishmash little book with some more embossing up here. And this, I believe this is Ruby and Pearl too, and you can journal in the back. And I love these little flowers. I think they're very sweet, and the little swag of the green goes perfect. So again, I went with colors to pick what I wanted. And then in the back of this paper clip, I have, oh, I don't want to rip it. I have a little cluster going on here. Let me just put it here. I have this from the collection that I backed up with book pages. I have this cutie. I did a lot of sewing. And I've had this little envelopes for a while. I covered the back with dictionary pages. Did a little bit of, just a little something here just to make it look rough. I put a little sheer fabric on the bottom. Just kind of went on and layered everything. And then in here, I added, this is from, I think this is some kind of a Secret Garden book or something that I like a lot, and it's got some more of that green. A little ticket here, and then this cute little, I love that, because I like horses too. And you can also tuck more little hidden things in there, so that goes here. Then for the center, I used this fabric that I love. These polka dots are beautiful. I love that lace material. Here what I did, I ruffled more of that velvet material, and I have two little tickets going on and that little charm. And this ticket, this little ticket right here says flowers, and this just dangles like that. I think that's super sweet. This was one of the very first things I used that I did that inspired me for the journal, was this tag. I put it on Instagram, and this tag, the background is wallpaper, embossed wallpaper that I've had for a while, and actually is white. It's like I have a big roll of it. It's white, like this. And I've had it in my Etsy store for a while. It started out like this. See, it's like this. I love it because it's white. It can go with anything. But I ended up, you know, doing my thing, de-stressing it a little bit. And then for the eyelet, I use a little bit of a dictionary book page. I made one of these pins, and then I just did layers. I love layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. And then some layered ticket. This I've had. This is like an old piece of sari. This I've had for a while. It's kind of real soft. And I thought I was going to use it just as a little tag. Well, not a little, it's a huge tag, but just as a tag and kind of float it around with the paper clip. But then I decided, no, I like it so much, and it belongs in that page because I think the colors bounce off each other. I just wanted it there. So I turned it into, by just simply gluing, I just turned it into a little pocket here, a little side pocket. And I have this little, this is from a very old little dictionary book, and then another from another smaller book. Oops, well, that gives it character. So that goes here like that. See, sometimes the best accidents are the best. So that goes kind of in there like that. And I like the little tab. I love the little tab there. So then, as we keep going, oh, I love that green. This is, I was doing like this mass stenciling and I couldn't stop. And this was from that piece, and it's not quite as green, sagey green as this, but I thought this light green worked really well against the light green in the highlights of this flower and then the stamp. So I was kind of thinking like a little cluster of soft green here. So I went for it, and it's just one of these. And then here we have another one of these. And all I did was I put a, kind of covered it with some music paper. You can, I think this paper is from when I used to make soaps. I wrapped them in this paper. It was kind of like a glossy. That's where that's from. And then here, on this other little page, I have the back of that Prima ledger paper from this collection. I don't remember what it is. And then here, just a little scrap I had, and then I did another, this is also from Raindrop Lila. And then here I have like a little flip out that you can just have more. You can actually even tuck something underneath here if you like. But I love that green. That's so pretty. So sweet. That goes there. And then this is a collage that she did for us, which is awesome. I love when the pages have these collages a lot. Okay, guys, I'm going to change my, I'll be right back. I need to change my card. It's running out. I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, friends, I'm back. Sorry about that. So here I have another little hymnal sheet. I love that writing, and I like all those splatters. Another collage, just a little piece of lace. I love that. And then here I wanted to do like a little fabric flip. So, and I wanted to do something with the green to bounce off the green. So I used that trim again that I used in the front. Up here I cut a little piece and used it as like my front part. And then here is like a little veil. This is from another dress that I salvaged. It's got little, they're not quite Swiss dots because they're all like in a line, but they look really pretty. And then here's the velvet piece of fabric. I love this fabric. It just feels so good. I love it. So that's there. And then a piece of paper, and then you can journal in the back. I love that. So that's a little fabric flip. As you can tell, I like to use a lot of trims and laces, and I love, love, love fabric. As a matter of fact, I have a little plug here. I have 5 bundles that I'm working on to, I want to release them, you know, show you pictures and stuff. They're all going to be scrap quilt, little mix, and they're going to be in my Etsy store hopefully in a couple of days. I already put them together, but I need to take pictures. So, but again, I just, whenever I find fabric, there isn't a piece of fabric that I don't like. I love it. So this is from a rescue piece. Another little collage. The back of the ledger paper. I love this trim. I love how it moves. See, plenty of room. There's plenty of room to journal on, yet there's still plenty of laces that I purposely try to make look like they're like oddballs. You know, I don't want them to look like I just put them there. I just want them to look like, I don't know. I can't explain myself, but I think you know what I mean. So anyway, more. Look how pretty. This is from that book, and I love that color of that butterfly and a little bit of the blue. This little material I've had for a while. I just ruffled it up. This is a tag. It's part of the paper collection. And little green piece of fabric. Look how pretty that lace looks. I love that from that book. This is the other side of that page. Look how pretty. That goes like that. This is Ruby and Pearl, and I did a little ruffle here. This was just leftover stuff. On the journals, this little pocket is different. And that journal is a little bit different because I didn't have this exact same lace, but it's still beautiful. It's like on a side. It's really pretty. But basically it's the same. It's a cellophane bag. I left this blank. You can add something on here. You can journal on there if you like. And then for here I had it a piece of another embossing folder that I was experimenting with that I loved a lot. And then this is from her printables. The back side of the I love this map page so much. And then here I just created like a little tuck out of this page, just like a tiny little tuck. And I have this printable. This I've had in my stash for a while. I have a bunch of them left from 1937. This person used to take pictures, and I think he would put the negative. I think he was into aviation. And I'm in a military town, so I'm thinking, you know, this could be from someone that was in the military. I don't know. But he has a lot of aviation, but he has all kinds of stuff too. And I guess these were his sample cards or something, and I love them. I have a whole box of them, so I'm going to start, I forget the stuff I have. I'm going to start adding them on. And this is another little card that goes right in here. The back of that page. Here's another side tuck. And then here I just have, you can add more. I made like a little tab that you can, I've thought of folding it this way, but I kind of like it like that. And this is just another printable. And you can journal back there. You can also tuck more things. I like these little pages also, guys, because you can, I don't know, you can just attach so much to them. Just like tons of stuff. I mean, you know how it is. You can keep adding. You don't have to use it just like this. So Miss Olivia is getting a little chunky here. And this little miniature page, this is also from, this was a tag that I cut up. So sometimes with the kids, you don't have to use them exactly how they are. You can do whatever you want with it. There's two little pages here that of course you can add to it. You can keep going. This is one of those crazy multifunctional tuck spots that I do out of file folders. And this is more of the remnants of that trim. I'm like in love with this because it's like the softest cotton. And the ruffles are not even. I love it. And they're all tattered. I love that. So I had some left and I used it here. But this, when I usually do these multi tuck spot, I usually clip them, but this one I wanted to glue for some reason. And I gave it like two little tuck spots. On this top one I have, and then I did a little collage in the back. On this top one I have this little square tag, and I put this trim that I'm like in love. I keep putting these little bits everywhere. I love the trim. And this is from the collection. How pretty that rose is, and that goes right in here like that. And then here I did a little collage with a little ticket and everything. And then here I have another little printable from the collection and a little playing card that I've had for, forget all the stuff I have, but I want to start using more of them. That goes in there. And another cute little pages. This is another side tuck. And then on this one we have, what do we have? Oh, we have a little collage back here. I forget what I did a little collage back here. And then here I have, this is, I love that rose too. And then here's like another little ledger that you can also, plenty of journaling space that you could write on. So where was this guy? This guy was here. So that goes into that little tuck spot. Here I have like a tiny little flip that you can add something in there if you like. Look at this, so pretty. And this is the other side. I think this is the front page of the book. I love that green there. Recipe card, the back of this printable. Look how gorgeous that rose, just kind of half the rose peeking through, beautiful. The other side of the doily, I added a little something. You can add something back here. Look how pretty that green. The other side of the book from the stained glass, plenty of room. Like that. Here on this little tuck that I created, I have just a plain little card. This is not that old. I think this might be, I don't know, the life project cards, I think. And then just a little vintage playing card. This page, I love this page. And then here is like, look how pretty that white that looks against this lace. I love that. So here, just like a little flip, a little collage. This is the very back, which is again the little dangling doily with a little wallpaper printable, and then you can see a little bit of that lace peeking through. And that is the back of the journal. So this is Miss Olivia. I had so much fun making her, guys. Like if I, like, you know, she just keeps going up. That's how fat she is. But I had a lot of fun making her, and I learned a lot of new little things and ideas that I'm going to be incorporated, and a lot of products that I took out that I need to start using. So that's Olivia. I hope you picked up some little hints and tricks, and maybe, you know, a little color combo that you like or something. But again, my customers, thank you so much for liking my work and supporting my store. And these two little babies are going to be wrapped beautifully. They go with the gift. I always ship everything with delivery, a confirmation thing, and also extra insurance. And I always add something to go with it, like a nice, beautiful fabric bundle or something else to go with the journals. My journals never ship alone. They always ship with something extra, a lot. So, hope you liked her, guys. Thank you. Any questions or anything, just leave it underneath. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.